I want to go over with you the 10 points of expecting a bottle of wine when you're out and the waiter, wine steward, sommelier brings your bottle to the table. The first thing that you check is to make sure that it is the winery that you purchase your wine from. Here would be the Polo Girl. Then after that, make sure it's the varietal and the year. That's the easy part. So once we get into that, I'll normally ask the wine steward, may I see the bottle? What I'm doing with the wine steward bottle is I'm pressing my thumb over across the top of that, and you'll see how it's indented. Every corker recesses the wine in there. The reason that this is important is because if it's level or up, means the wine's been heated up. And what's important about that, in Florida, it only takes 108 degrees for that cork to start moving. 110, 112. We get into our cars all the time in the summer, it's like that. So you have to be careful that it's not. If that cork's raised, I probably would stop right there, ask for another one. If they bring it back, the second cork's raised, that means the whole case got hot, and go into another varietal. So from there, the next thing we're going to look for is we're going to look for seepage. That maybe the cork didn't move, but some seepage got out of there. This is an example of seepage that would come from a cork where you see it. It looks like a watermark or stains just on there. So from there, so if you see that, kind of send it back. The place that we look for is right up underneath here to see if there's any seepage. So let's just count. Manufacturer, varietal, year, recessed cork, seepage, or watermarks, seepage. From there, we take our corkscrew. There's a couple different ways of taking a corkscrew. You can slide it all the way around here and take your top off. I don't particularly like that myself because you can get little pieces of tin that can fall back in your bottle. The other way of doing it is just start at the bottom and take the whole piece off. That way you don't stand a chance of getting it. But that has nothing to do with inspections. So the next thing they're going to do is the waiter will open the bottle for you. Keep in mind whenever you're putting your corkscrew in, you always want to try to be the center of the bottle, which I get that about 1 out of 10 times. So here it's off to the side. So when I'm going to start pulling the cork, I pull the opposite side. I just take that out like we talked about. See how it comes out a little bit? I'm going to put that corkscrew back in there a little farther. I'm going to bring it back down again. And then from there, I'll use, and you should never force a cork out. So back to the inspection. So the first thing that we look at, the maitre d' will hand you the cork. You never want to smell a cork because if you have bad wine, you're going to be smelling vinegar, and vinegar will be on the palate and affect the rest of your meal. So what we look for there, the first thing is when he hands you the cork, we feel the cork to see if it's supple. It should be nice and soft, see how that feels. Okay, then from there, now this is where knowing your wine comes in, because we have some of our wine, our Jupiter is 8 years old. It spent 5 years in the bottle, 5 years in the wood, 3 years in the bottle. So you can't assume that it was 8 years old. But a cork should have, for every year that it's been in the bottle, about 1/62 of an inch of redness. Now, what's important is if you're looking at your cork that you see scalloped colors, that tells you that the cork was stored improperly. The wine was stored straight up. Somebody bought it, knew what they were doing. They turned it on the side. It swelled, but during that period of time when you turned it on the side, some of the wine got up here. And just because the wine's not perfect doesn't mean it's going to taste bad. But you're paying a substantial amount of money out for a restaurant. If any of these issues are wrong, you would send it back. And I was at the dinner the other night. I had a scallop bottle. I did try it because it was an expensive bottle, and it was fine. That's, as I said, it doesn't mean it's going to be bad, but when in doubt, send it back. Now, a lot of people are shy about sending wine back. When we say to our restaurants, if one of our bottles come back, we'll replace it, because we want to replace it. We don't want our customers drinking bad wine. And the waitstaff loves it, because like I said, it doesn't mean it's bad wine. So they're either going to use it for cooking, or the waitstaff's going to drink it at the end of the night. So nobody's heart's getting broken when you send one back. So we're going to check here. Subtle, color the amount of wine, how long it's been in the bottle, and look for scalloping. So then after that, the maitre d' will pour you a small taste. Now, before you drink the wine, you're going to hold the wine up to the light because that's how you're going to see clarity. What you want to see is consistency in color. The best analogy I can use is vinegar and oil. When they go together, they're not together. If you see parting and everything in the wine, it's bad wine. You send it back. The color should be consistent. And let me give you a fair warning. There is no maroon wine. The colors should be consistent. Keep this in mind. On a red wine, the older they get, the lighter in color they get. On a white wine, the older they are, the darker in color they get. So now we've held it up to the light. It looks great. Now we're going to take a little test the bouquet. But you start from out here. When you watch a lot of the people on TV or whatever, they have their nose in there. If that's bad wine, you're getting a snoot full of bad wine. So we start from back here, and it should be pleasant. It should be fruity, it should be floral, it should be that. If we haven't swirled the wine yet, which I haven't, the first fragrance you're going to get from the wine is going to be the most prominent grape in there. Now, it could be an equal blend, like this is an equal blend, but the grape that you're getting here is going to be the Greco Nero because it's the strongest of the three. Then when you swirl it, you should get three different scents. But you're not doing that. That's just a little side note. So after that, then you take it. Looks good. Smells good. You taste it. Now, when you taste wine, you sip it. You take a small sip. You put your tongue like you're going to whistle. You trap it in there, and you press that top to the top of your mouth. Your tongue has 4 areas of sensors on it. We're only concerned about 2. Right here, front right is sweet. Back left is bitter. It's the only thing we care about wine because that's the combination of wine together, the sweetness, available sugar versus the tannins put together. But if it's fine, that's it. So that's how we inspect a bottle of wine when it comes.